The Ironman 70.3 World Champs is coming up again in St. George, Utah on the 18th of September. We're going to preview that race here today, including the course and the top contenders.
But first, a little history of the evolution of the Ironman 70.3 distance. So Ironman 70.3 was actually first called Half Ironman, and the first branded event was Half Ironman UK in 2001 in Llanberis in Wales, which has since now moved to Wimbledon Lake.
Yeah. In 2005, Ironman rebranded the Half Ironman the Ironman 70.3 because I guess Ironman's all about the challenge and no one wants to do half a challenge. It is still half an Ironman though, with 1.2 mile swim or 1.9 kilometer, a 56 mile bike, 90 kilometer bike, and a 13.1 mile or 21 kilometer run for a total distance of 70.3 miles. But it's not also, which is 113 kilometers, but it's not called an Ironman 113. Interestingly, the distance of a half Ironman was actually been around for a long time. It was first done in 1979 at the Super Frog Triathlon, which was a training event for the Navy SEALs.
Yeah, well, the Ironman 70.3 series has grown rapidly in popularity, and the number of events reflects that. In 2006, we had just 14 global events, and nowadays we have over 120 events. Obviously, this past 18 months has been affected due to the global pandemic, but still a heck of a lot of events there. Now, these events also provide qualification for both pros and age groupers for the Ironman 70.3 World Championships, which are normally held in September.
Yeah, the Ironman 70.3 World Championships for its first 5 years was held in Clearwater, Florida in the same venue. It then moved to Henderson, just outside Las Vegas, Nevada for the following 3 years. And since then, it started moving around the world. So it's been in Canada, Austria, Australia, Tennessee in the USA, in South Africa, and then in France. In 2021, it'll be in St. George, Utah, and in 2022, it was supposed to be in Taupo, New Zealand, but that's been cancelled, as was the 2020 event, which was supposed to be in Taupo, New Zealand. So that'll be in St. George again in 2022.
But in 2023, we're hopefully back on the move again. It will be in Lahti in Finland. So then, on to the course. Now, there has been an Ironman 70.3, obviously, in St. George, Utah, every year since 2016, except last year in 2020, of course. It's also been host to the Ironman 70.3 North American Pro Champs every year since 2016.
That's right. But that race is usually held in the beginning of May, and the World Champs is going to be held in the middle of September. Now, in the middle of September, the average daily temperature in St. George is significantly warmer than May. Average daily high of around 34 degrees Celsius or 94 Fahrenheit with a low of only 18 Celsius or 64 Fahrenheit. This means it'll probably be a non-wetsuit swim, it'll be a pretty hot bike, and it'll probably be a very hot run in the middle of the day.
Yeah, now the swim is a single loop in the Sand Hollow Reserve, which is very clean, clear and calm water. Now the pros will go off in a mass start in the water, and then the age groupers will follow shortly after, but in a rolling start manner.
The bike course is a point-to-point ride from the reservoir. It loops around over rolling hills before passing the town of St. George, and then the signature climb up the Snow Canyon State Park. Spectacular scenery greets the competitors, but they won't have much time to look at it because it's a pretty steep, hard climb, and it comes 40 miles into the bike leg, so it's where time is going to be made and lost for the main contenders. After that, it's pretty much downhill straight into town and T2.
Yeah, now the run course is arguably the toughest of this course, even without even factoring in the almost guaranteed heat that they'll be experiencing during this part of the race. Now, unlike the normal out and back course of the 70.3 St. George race, the World Championship course will head out on the same route up the Red Hills Parkway into the Red Cliffs Desert Reserve, which overlooks the town. But then, rather than turning around, the athletes will head down the steep descent back into town and then repeat that same loop again.
Yeah, which means the finish is a very steep descent straight down into town, and the last mile is going to be fast and furious to crown those 2021 Ironman 70.3 World Champions. I've raced this course before, Mark, and it is properly hard. It's honest, it's fast, and there's really nowhere to hide. So it's going to be good race to watch, I think, for a World Champs.
So, who will those champions be in 2021? First of all, let's take a look at the women.
Well, as you'd hope from the World Champs, all the big names in middle distance racing will be there, with a few new names thrown in just to keep it interesting. Hot favourite has to be defending champion from 2019, because there wasn't a 2020 World Champs, Daniela Ryf. We've seen that she's not infallible, as we saw at the Collins Cup recently, but with the exception of the Ironman 70.3 World Champs in the Sunshine Coast in 2016, Daniela Ryf has won every 70.3 World Champs since 2014, which means she is now going for her 6th 70.3 World title, and it's really hers to lose.
But it's certainly not a done deal, and the person that could come in to shake things up is none other than Taylor Nibb. She really has been a bit of a breakout star this past year and really kind of jumped on everyone's radar and on the scene with a silver medal at the Tokyo Olympic Games as part of USA's mixed team relay. Then just a week later, she took second place at Ironman 70.3 Boulder in her debut middle distance 70.3 race on a road bike. Then off the back of that was selected as a wildcard pick for USA's Collins Cup team, where she went on to take the win again on a road bike ahead of Daniela Ryf by 17 minutes. Now, of course, it would be easy to dismiss that result as, well, Daniela's having an off day, but she had the fastest time by over 3 minutes and ahead of many of the contenders and I guess the favourites for this World Championship race in St George. So could she be the one to come in and upset this race?
She definitely could be. One of those favourites who are hoping she won't be able to is Lucy Charles-Barkley. She was a runner-up in 2018 and then 5th at the Ironman World Champs in Nice. She's been working on becoming the complete athlete, and she's pretty close now, I think. Her swim and bike should put her in contention, and if she can just put in a fast run, she could take the win.
Well, someone that can run very well and has done in every race this year is Emma Palin Brown, who, let's not forget, also took second place at the Ironman 70.3 World Championships in 2017 in Chattanooga. Of course, she has got to overcome a slightly weaker swim, but if she's in contention on that run, she could really go to town on that very tough run course. Yeah,
definitely suits her. Other people to watch out for: Holly Lawrence, the 70.3 world champion that one year that Daniela didn't win it. Ellie Salthouse, pretty much undefeated this year so far in 6 races. Or Jeannie Metzler, who was runner-up to Daniela Ryf on this pretty much the same course in May in St George.
Well, of course, there are so many other amazing women out there that we could talk about and could, well, just shake things up on the day for us. But now on to the men's race, and one rather notable absentee from this race is 2018 70.3 world champion Jan Fredayno. Now, he did mention recently that he will be heading over to the States to race, but as of yet doesn't have a bib number and hasn't actually specified which race. So we're thinking maybe Ironman California or Chattanooga, perhaps. Who knows?
Who knows? Also, runner-up in the last 2 70.3 world champs and double Olympic gold medalist, Alistair Brownlee, is on the start list with a bib number, but he had ankle surgery 2 months ago and recently was seen off riding 750 kilometers of gravel in Spain. So his start seems a little bit doubtful.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like Ironman 70.3 World Championship prep to me, does it?
No, I think his swimming and running would suffer a little bit.
Definitely. Training. But it is still going to be one fine humdinger of event. God, I like the word humdinger. Gustav Eden is back after obviously winning the 70.3 World Championships 2 years ago in Nice. He is in fine form after the Collins Cup and is sure to be looking to defend his title. But one person that is looking to upset that is his countryman, Christian Blumenfeld. Now, of course, he placed 4th at the Ironman 70.3 World Championships 2 years ago behind Eden, Alistair Brownlee and Rudy von Berg. But with Brownlee and Rudy von Berg out, I think, with his recent form, a gold medal at the Tokyo Olympic Games, he could upset things.
Definitely a possibility, yep. Another all-rounder and evergreen star on the list who shouldn't be written off is Javier Gomez. He was a 70.3 world champion in 2014 and 2017, and I don't think I'd write him off just yet. Also, other names to watch: Sam Appleton, Ben Knut, and then the podium getters at Daytona, Matt Hansen and George Goodwin could also mix things up.
Definitely. And let's also not forget Sam Long. He had an epic battle with Lionel Sanders on the St George course back in May. Of course, he is going to have to overcome a slightly weaker swimmer and probably have the swim of his life if he wants to be in contention and with a lot of this field in the race.
Yep, and there are many, many other names on that list. 65 men on the start list, so any one of them could upset it. It's definitely going to be a race to watch.
Well, with 65 men and 50 women on this start list for this weekend, we have most certainly missed a key player or two, and pretty much everyone on the start list has won a 70.3 or 2 during their careers. So if we have missed any of those key players or someone that you have picked out, then please drop them down in the comment section below. And why not just put in your top 3 predictions on the men's and the women's side? Let's have some fun with it. Drop them down below.
Yeah, with a tough, honest course, hot conditions, and a stacked field of hungry athletes after more than a year of pandemic cancelled races, it promises to be a race to watch. So tune in to all the action on Sunday the 18th of September. Don't forget to like and subscribe our video for more content like this and more race picks ahead.